Right now, as you're watching this video, there are mysterious worlds spinning in the darkness beyond Pluto that NASA has been quietly discovering. Worlds so bizarre they're rewriting everything we thought we knew about our solar system. These aren't just random chunks of ice floating in space. These are full-blown alien worlds with their own moons, ring systems, and physics-defying properties that would make science fiction writers jealous. But here's the kicker. Some of these discoveries are so recent that most people have never even heard their names. Did you know there's a world out there that spins so fast it literally stretched itself into the shape of a football? The dwarf planet that dethroned Pluto. Did you know there's a world out there so massive it literally kicked Pluto out of the Planet Club? Meet Eris, the cosmic troublemaker that changed everything we thought we knew about our solar system. This icy giant sits way beyond Pluto's orbit, roughly 68 times farther from the Sun than Earth, making it one of the most distant objects we've ever discovered in our neighborhood. What makes Eris absolutely mind-blowing is that it's actually 27% more massive than Pluto, despite being slightly smaller in size. Think of it as the dense, muscular cousin that nobody talks about at family gatherings. When astronomers first spotted this beast in 2005, it sparked the Great Planetary Identity Crisis that ultimately led to Pluto's demotion to dwarf planet status. But here's where it gets really wild. Eris is so far out there that it takes 557 Earth years just to complete one single orbit around our Sun. The surface temperature, a bone-chilling -400 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to freeze nitrogen solid. Named after the Greek goddess of chaos and discord, Eris lives up to its reputation by having an orbit so elliptical and tilted that it literally dances to its own cosmic rhythm. This frozen world even has its own moon called Dysnomia, named after Eris's daughter who was the goddess of lawlessness. Together, they're like the ultimate rebel duo of our solar system, proving that the most interesting characters always hang out in the shadows. The Easter Island of space. What if I told you there's a world out there named after an Easter Island creation god that's hiding secrets NASA never expected? Welcome to Make, the reddish dwarf planet that's rewriting the rules of what we thought possible in the outer solar system. This bizarre world sits about 45 times farther from the Sun than Earth, cruising through the Kuiper Belt like a cosmic ghost wrapped in mystery. Here's what makes Make absolutely fascinating. Its surface is covered in frozen methane and nitrogen, giving it this eerie reddish-brown color that makes it look like a giant rusty marble floating in space. But the real shocker came when scientists discovered that this supposedly lonely world actually has a tiny dark moon they nicknamed MK2. This little companion is so dark it absorbs almost all light that hits it, making it nearly invisible and explaining why it took astronomers over a decade to spot it after finding Make itself. The temperature on this frozen wasteland? A brutal -406 degrees Fahrenheit, so cold that even the atmosphere would freeze solid if it had one. What's really mind-bending is that Make completes one orbit around our Sun every 310 Earth years, meaning since its discovery in 2005, it's barely moved from where we first spotted it. Named after the Polynesian creator deity from Easter Island, this world represents one of the most significant discoveries in our solar system's outer reaches, proving that even in the darkest, coldest corners of space, there are still incredible surprises waiting to be uncovered. The spinning football planet. There's a world spinning so fast in our solar system that it literally stretched itself into the shape of a football, and it comes with its own ring system that shouldn't even exist. Say hello to Haumea, the cosmic speed demon that's breaking every rule we thought we knew about how planets behave. This elongated freak of nature rotates once every 4 hours, making it one of the fastest spinning objects in our entire solar system. So fast that centrifugal force has warped it into an egg-like shape that's twice as long as it is wide. Located about 43 times farther from the Sun than Earth, Haumea is essentially a giant spinning ice ball made mostly of crystalline water ice, reflecting sunlight so brilliantly that it practically glows in the darkness of space. But here's where things get absolutely insane. This spinning football has two moons, Hi'iaka and Namaka, named after Hawaiian goddesses, and they're likely chunks that got flung off during some catastrophic collision billions of years ago. The real kicker? In 2017, scientists discovered that Haumea has its own ring system, making it the first known ringed object beyond Neptune. These rings are incredibly thin and dark, orbiting around Haumea's equator like a cosmic hula hoop. What makes this discovery so shocking is that according to everything we know about physics, rings shouldn't be stable around such a rapidly rotating, oddly shaped object. Yet, there they are, defying our understanding and proving that the outer solar system is full of impossible worlds doing impossible things. The Lonely Wanderer. Ever wonder what happens when a world gets so lonely that it takes 11,400 years just to say hello to the sun once? Meet Sedna, the cosmic hermit that's rewriting everything we thought we knew about the edge of our solar system. This blood-red dwarf planet is currently sitting about 84 times farther from the sun than Earth. But here's the kicker. Yeah, that's actually its close approach. When Sedna reaches its farthest point in its orbit, it ventures out to a mind-boggling 937 astronomical units away, making it so distant that the sun would look like just another bright star in the sky. What makes this world absolutely fascinating is its deep crimson color, caused by organic compounds called tholins that have been baked by cosmic radiation for billions of years. The surface is a frozen wasteland of water ice, methane, and carbon dioxide, with temperatures that never rise above -400 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's where Sedna gets really mysterious. Its orbit is so extreme and elongated that something massive must have gravitationally yanked it into this bizarre path billions of years ago. Scientists think it could have been a rogue star that passed through our solar system when the sun was young, or maybe even evidence of the legendary Planet 9 lurking in the outer darkness. Sedna rotates incredibly slowly, taking about 10 hours to complete one spin, and it's completely alone out there with no known moons. This lonely wanderer represents our first glimpse into the inner Oort cloud, that mysterious region where comets are born. The Ancient Surprise. There's a world out there that's completely shattering our understanding of physics by sporting rings that absolutely should not exist. Meet Quaoar, the rebel dwarf planet that's making scientists question everything they thought they knew about how ring systems work. This icy troublemaker sits about 43 times farther from the sun than Earth, cruising through the Kuiper Belt with a secret that wasn't discovered until 2022. Named after the creation deity of the Tongva people of Southern California, Quaoar is roughly half the size of Pluto, but packs enough surprises to keep astronomers scratching their heads for years. Here's what makes this world absolutely mind-blowing. It has a ring system that orbits at a distance where rings simply cannot exist according to our current understanding of celestial mechanics. These rings sit way beyond what's called the Roche limit, the theoretical boundary where a planet's gravity should tear apart any orbiting material and turn it into moons instead. Yet Quaoar's rings are just hanging out there, perfectly stable, basically giving physics the middle finger. The rings themselves are incredibly faint and narrow, made up of tiny particles that somehow resist clumping together into larger objects. What's even more bizarre is that Quaoar has a small moon called Weiwat, named after Quaoar's son in Tongva mythology, which orbits much farther out than the rings. This setup defies everything we know about how ring systems should behave, suggesting there are fundamental forces at work in our solar system that we're only just beginning to understand. Pluto's anti-twin. What if there's a world out there that's locked in a cosmic dance with Pluto, orbiting in perfect harmony but always staying on the exact opposite side of the solar system? Welcome to Orcus, the anti-Pluto that's proving the universe has a twisted sense of symmetry. This dark, mysterious dwarf planet sits roughly the same distance from the sun as Pluto, about 39 times farther than Earth, but here's where things get absolutely wild. It's trapped in what scientists call a 1-to-2 orbital resonance with Pluto, meaning for every 2 orbits Pluto makes, Orcus completes exactly 1. But the real kicker is that they're positioned like cosmic opposites, always maintaining maximum separation as they waltz through space together. Named after the Roman god of the underworld and punisher of broken oaths, Orcus is significantly smaller than Pluto but shares some eerily similar characteristics. Its surface is covered in water ice mixed with organic compounds, giving it a grayish appearance that makes it look like Pluto's shadow twin. The most fascinating part? Orcus has its own moon called Vanth, named after an Etruscan demon, and this moon is unusually large compared to its parent, almost like a mini version of the Pluto-Charon system. What makes this relationship so bizarre is that despite being gravitationally linked in this eternal dance, Orcus and Pluto will never get closer than about 18 astronomical units apart. They're like cosmic dance partners who are forever destined to mirror each other's movements while never actually meeting, creating one of the most elegant and mysterious orbital relationships in our entire solar system. The Chaos Bringer. There's a world tumbling through space so chaotically that scientists can't even figure out which way is up, and it's named after a Chinese water god known for causing floods and chaos. Meet Gong Gong, the cosmic troublemaker that's spinning in such a bizarre way, it's making astronomers question everything they know about planetary rotation. This dark reddish dwarf planet lurks about 67 times farther from the Sun than Earth, taking a whopping 554 years to complete just one orbit around our star. What makes Gong Gong absolutely mind-bending is its rotation. Instead of spinning like a normal planet with a stable axis, it tumbles end over end in a completely unpredictable pattern that changes constantly. Scientists think this chaotic tumbling was caused by a massive collision sometime in its past, possibly the same impact that created its small moon, Xiangliu, named after Gong Gong's nine-headed serpent companion in Chinese mythology. The surface of this world is covered in dark, methane-rich materials that absorb most of the sunlight hitting it, making it one of the reddest objects in the outer solar system. Here's what's really wild. Gong Gong is so massive that it's right on the borderline of being large enough to pull itself into a round shape, but its chaotic rotation and composition keep it slightly elongated. The temperatures on this frozen wasteland never rise above -400 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to freeze nitrogen solid. This tumbling giant represents one of the most dynamically unstable objects we've discovered in our solar system, proving that even billions of years after formation, some worlds are still dealing with ancient cosmic trauma. The Slow Giant. There's a cosmic giant lurking so far out in space that it takes over 1,100 years just to say hello to the sun once. And, scientists almost missed it completely while hunting for dark energy. Meet 2014 UZ-224, nicknamed DD for Distant Dwarf, the slow-motion behemoth that's redefining what we know about the edge of our solar system. This mysterious world sits approximately 8.5 billion miles away from the Sun right now, making it nearly 3 times farther out than Pluto, and ranking it as the third most distant known object in the Kuiper Belt. What makes this discovery absolutely incredible is that it was found completely by accident. Astronomers were using the dark energy camera to map distant galaxies when undergraduate students spotted this single moving dot creeping across the cosmic background. The sheer size of this world is mind-blowing, measuring roughly 395 miles across, which makes it about 2/3 the diameter of the dwarf planet Ceres, and roughly half the size of Pluto. Here's where things get really wild. 2014 UZ-224 has one of the most extreme orbits ever discovered, swinging as close as 38 astronomical units from the Sun and reaching as far out as 180 astronomical units, creating an incredibly elongated path that takes 1,147 years to complete. The surface of this distant world is incredibly dark, reflecting only 13% of the sunlight that hits it, making it one of the darkest objects in our solar system. What's fascinating is that this world is currently headed inward toward the Sun and won't reach its closest approach until the year 2142. The Snowman of Space. What if I told you there's a cosmic snowman floating 4 billion miles away that's revealing the deepest secrets of how our entire solar system was born? Meet Arrokoth, the most distant object ever visited by a spacecraft, and the ultimate time capsule that's rewriting everything we thought we knew about planetary formation. This bizarre double-lobed world looks exactly like a flattened snowman, with 2 rounded sections gently touching each other in what scientists describe as the most gentle cosmic kiss ever recorded. Here's what makes this discovery absolutely mind-blowing. When NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew by Arrokoth on New Year's Day 2019, it revealed that this ancient relic formed through a process so delicate that its 2 halves came together at just 7 miles per hour, essentially docking like spacecraft rather than smashing together violently. The surface of this primordial world is incredibly red, even redder than Pluto, and recent analysis has revealed something that could change our understanding of life's origins. It contains sugars like ribose and glucose, the fundamental building blocks of life itself. What's truly fascinating is that Arrokoth has remained virtually unchanged for 4.5 billion years, preserved in the deep freeze of the Kuiper Belt like a cosmic fossil. Scientists believe this snowman-shaped world formed when a localized cloud of primordial material gently collapsed and fused together, proving that planet formation can happen through surprisingly gentle processes rather than violent collisions. This discovery is revolutionizing our understanding of how planets form and suggesting that the building blocks of life might be far more common in the universe than we ever imagined. The Phantom World. What if there's an invisible giant lurking in the darkest corners of our solar system? A phantom world so massive it's secretly controlling the orbits of distant objects like a cosmic puppet master. Meet Planet 9, the theoretical super-Earth that could be the most significant discovery in astronomy since Neptune was found over 150 years ago. This mysterious world is believed to be roughly 10 times more massive than Earth, and orbits somewhere between 400 to 800 times farther from the Sun than our planet, making it so distant that it would take between 10,000 to 20,000 years just to complete one orbit around our star. Here's what makes this discovery absolutely mind-blowing. Scientists haven't actually seen Planet 9 yet, but they know it's there because of the gravitational fingerprints it's leaving behind. 6 distant objects in the Kuiper Belt all have their orbits mysteriously aligned in the same direction and tilted at the same 30-degree angle, something that would be virtually impossible without a massive planet shepherding them from the shadows. Computer simulations show that Planet 9's gravity is so powerful it could have tilted our entire solar system by 6 degrees over the past 4.5 billion years, finally solving a mystery that has puzzled astronomers for decades. Recent studies suggest there's at least a 40% chance this phantom planet actually exists, and it might be the core of a giant planet that was violently ejected by Jupiter during the chaotic early days of our solar system. With surface temperatures around minus 375 degrees Fahrenheit and a diameter 7.5 times larger than Earth, Planet 9 represents the ultimate cosmic hide-and-seek champion. So there you have it. 10 absolutely mind-blowing worlds that prove our solar system is way stranger than we ever imagined. From spinning footballs to phantom planets, these discoveries are just the beginning of what's waiting out there in the cosmic darkness. If these bizarre worlds blew your mind as much as they did mine, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss our latest space discoveries. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these worlds surprised you the most. Was it the tumbling chaos of Gong Gong or the invisible giant Planet 9? Thanks for joining me on this cosmic journey, and I'll see you in the next Space Facts adventure. Bill Nye's latest findings from Voyager 1 reveal that interstellar space isn't the peaceful void we imagined. Instead, it's a raging storm of plasma waves and chaotic magnetic fields that could destroy any spacecraft venturing beyond our solar system. Did you know that right now, as you're reading this, humanity's most distant explorer is racing through the darkest corners of space at 38,000 miles per hour, discovering dangers that could end our dreams of interstellar travel forever? For 45 years, Voyager 1 has been our cosmic messenger, but its latest discovery has left even the science guy himself calling it terrifying. The Voyager 1 Mission Overview. Did you know that right now as you're watching this video, there's a 45-year-old piece of human technology hurtling through the darkest corners of space at 38,000 miles per hour? And it just discovered something that's making NASA scientists lose sleep at night? We're talking about Voyager 1, and this story is absolutely mind-blowing. Back in 1977, when disco was king and your parents were probably jamming to Saturday Night Fever, NASA launched what they thought would be a simple 5-year mission to snap some photos of Jupiter and Saturn. But here's where it gets crazy. This little spacecraft, built with technology that makes your calculator look like a supercomputer, decided it wasn't done exploring. 45 years later, it's still out there, still sending us data, and it's now humanity's most distant ambassador in space. We're talking about a machine that's traveled over 14 billion miles from Earth. That's so far that when it sends us a message, it takes over 22 hours just to reach us. Originally designed to study the outer planets and then quietly drift into space, Voyager 1 has become our eyes and ears in regions of the universe that no human technology has ever touched before. And what it's finding out there is changing everything we thought we knew about space itself. Journey beyond the solar system. What if I told you that humanity's greatest achievement isn't landing on the moon, but rather launching a tiny spacecraft that's been traveling for longer than most of us have been alive and just crossed into alien territory? This is where Voyager 1's story transforms from impressive to absolutely legendary. After completing its original mission to Jupiter and Saturn, most people expected this little explorer to just fade into the cosmic background, but Voyager 1 had other plans. For decades it kept pushing forward into the unknown, and then in 2012, something extraordinary happened. It became the first human-made object to punch through the heliopause, the invisible boundary where our sun's protective bubble ends and true interstellar space begins. Think about that for a moment. We literally have a piece of Earth technology swimming in the same cosmic ocean that separates us from other star systems. But here's what makes this even more incredible. Voyager 1 didn't just cross this boundary and stop sending data. Instead, it kept going deeper into this alien environment, continuously transmitting information about a realm that exists beyond everything we call home. Every single day it ventures further into space that no human eyes have ever seen, no human foot has ever touched, and no human mind has ever fully comprehended. It's like having a fearless explorer who never gets tired, never gives up, and never stops reporting back about the wonders and mysteries they encounter in the ultimate frontier. The terrifying discovery. When Bill Nye uses the word terrifying to describe a scientific discovery, you know we're not talking about your average space rocks and cosmic dust. We're talking about something that's keeping the world's smartest scientists awake at night. Here's where everything changes, and why this discovery is sending shockwaves through the scientific community. Voyager 1's recent transmissions have revealed that interstellar space isn't the quiet, empty void we've been imagining for decades. It's actually buzzing with activity that defies everything we thought we knew about the universe. The spacecraft has been detecting what researchers are calling anomalous signals and organized plasma wave patterns that seem to follow specific rules rather than random cosmic chaos. But here's the part that's making everyone nervous. These signals aren't just background noise from distant stars or galaxies. They're persistent, they're structured, and they appear to be responding to Voyager 1's presence in ways that suggest something is actively influencing the space around it. The data shows magnetic field fluctuations and energy signatures that don't match any known natural phenomena, creating patterns that seem almost intentional. When seasoned scientists who've spent their entire careers studying space start using words like unprecedented and unexplainable, you know we're dealing with something that could fundamentally change our understanding of reality itself. This isn't just a new discovery, it's a complete paradigm shift that's forcing us to question whether we've been completely wrong about what exists in the vast emptiness between stars. What the discovery means. You know that moment when you realize everything you learned in school about space might have been completely wrong? And suddenly the universe becomes a much scarier and more mysterious place than anyone ever told you? This is where things get absolutely mind-bending, and honestly, it's the kind of revelation that makes you question everything we thought we understood about reality. The data streaming back from Voyager 1 is painting a picture of interstellar space that's completely different from what every textbook, every documentary, and every scientific model has been telling us for generations. We're not just talking about finding some new particles or discovering a few unexpected magnetic fields. We're looking at evidence that suggests interstellar space is filled with organized structures, complex energy patterns, and activities that operate according to rules we don't even have names for yet. Bill Nye describes it like walking into what you thought was an empty warehouse, only to discover it's actually a bustling factory with machinery and processes you've never seen before. The implications are staggering because if our fundamental assumptions about the space between stars are wrong, then our understanding of how galaxies form, how matter behaves on cosmic scales, and even how the universe itself operates might need to be completely rewritten. Some scientists are whispering about the possibility that these patterns could indicate interactions with dark matter, unknown fundamental forces, or even more exotic phenomena that challenge the very foundations of physics. The terrifying aspect isn't just about encountering the unknown, it's about realizing that we've been living in a universe that's far more complex, active, and mysterious than we ever dared to comprehend. Scientific implications. What happens when a discovery is so groundbreaking that it doesn't just add a new chapter to science textbooks, It forces us to throw out the entire book and start writing from scratch. This is exactly what's happening right now in laboratories and universities around the world, and the ripple effects are absolutely staggering. Voyager 1's findings aren't just challenging a few theories here and there. They're demolishing the entire foundation of how we understand interstellar space and forcing scientists to rebuild their models from the ground up. For over half a century, we've been operating under the assumption that the space between stars was relatively uniform, predictable, and mostly empty. But these new discoveries are revealing a universe that's incredibly dynamic, structured, and filled with phenomena we don't even have proper names for yet. The scientific community is scrambling because this means everything from our understanding of galaxy formation to the behavior of matter and energy on cosmic scales might be fundamentally flawed. Some researchers are now suggesting that these patterns could indicate previously unknown interactions with dark matter, the existence of undiscovered fundamental forces, or even more exotic possibilities that push the boundaries of theoretical physics. The truly terrifying aspect for scientists isn't just encountering something unknown, it's the realization that our most sophisticated models and theories might have been built on incomplete or incorrect assumptions about the very fabric of space itself. This discovery is forcing an entire generation of physicists and astronomers to question everything they thought they knew about the universe, and that kind of paradigm shift only happens once or twice in a century. Voyager 1's instruments and data. Here's something that'll absolutely blow your mind. We're getting revolutionary discoveries about the universe from a spacecraft that's essentially running on the same technology your grandparents used to calculate their taxes in the 1970s. This is where the story becomes almost unbelievable, and it perfectly demonstrates why this discovery is so extraordinary. Voyager 1 is detecting these mind-bending phenomena using instruments that were designed when computers filled entire rooms and had less processing power than the cheapest smartphone you can buy today. We're talking about a plasma wave instrument that's been faithfully recording these mysterious signals for decades, a magnetometer that's picking up organized magnetic field patterns that shouldn't exist according to our theories, and a cosmic ray detector that's showing readings so unusual that scientists initially thought the equipment was malfunctioning. The fact that 1970s technology is capable of making discoveries that our most advanced theoretical models never predicted is like using a telegraph to accidentally intercept alien communications. It shouldn't be possible, yet here we are. What makes this even more remarkable is that these instruments are still functioning flawlessly after 45 years in the harshest environment imaginable, enduring cosmic radiation, extreme temperatures, and the complete isolation of deep space. The data they're transmitting is so precise and consistent that it's forcing scientists to accept that these anomalous readings aren't equipment failures or random glitches. They're genuine observations of phenomena that exist in interstellar space, detected by humanity's most resilient and determined explorer that refuses to give up on expanding our understanding of the universe. Challenges of deep space exploration. Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a team of NASA engineers performing what might be the most stressful job in human history, keeping a dying machine alive that's 14 billion miles away from the nearest repair shop. The logistics of what's happening with Voyager 1 are so mind-boggling that they sound like science fiction, but they're absolutely real and happening every single day. When NASA engineers want to send a simple command to this spacecraft, they have to wait over 22 hours just to find out if it worked. That's nearly 2 full days of nail-biting uncertainty for every single instruction they transmit. Meanwhile, Voyager 1 is slowly dying, losing about 4 watts of power every year as its nuclear power source gradually decays, forcing engineers to make impossible decisions about which systems to shut down to keep the most critical instruments running. The temperature out there is so cold that it would instantly freeze anything we know. The radiation levels would kill a human in seconds, and there's literally nothing around for billions of miles except the vast emptiness of interstellar space. Yet somehow, this incredible machine keeps functioning, keeps exploring, and keeps sending back data that's revolutionizing our understanding of the universe. The fact that we're getting these groundbreaking discoveries from equipment that's essentially held together by 45-year-old engineering and sheer determination is a testament to human ingenuity and the incredible resilience of this little explorer that refuses to give up on its mission to expand the boundaries of human knowledge. Bill Nye's perspective. When someone who's dedicated their entire life to making science accessible to millions of people suddenly starts using words like terrifying and paradigm shift, you know we're dealing with something that goes way beyond your typical scientific breakthrough. This is what makes Bill Nye's reaction to Voyager 1's discovery so compelling and, frankly, a little unsettling. This is a man who spent decades explaining complex scientific concepts with enthusiasm and optimism. Yet when he talks about these findings, there's a genuine sense of awe mixed with concern in his voice that's impossible to ignore. Nye emphasizes that this discovery represents the kind of terrifying that scientists actually love, the terror that comes from realizing how much we still don't know, and how our most fundamental assumptions about the universe might be completely wrong. He's calling this a genuine paradigm shift, comparing it to the moments in history when scientists realized the Earth wasn't the center of the universe, or when quantum mechanics shattered our understanding of reality at the smallest scales. What makes Nye's perspective so valuable is that he's witnessed countless scientific breakthroughs throughout his career, yet he's treating this Voyager 1 discovery as something truly special. A moment that could reshape not just astronomy and physics, but our entire philosophical understanding of our place in the cosmos. He points out that this is exactly how science is supposed to work. We build theories based on the best available evidence, then we test those theories in the real world, and sometimes we discover that reality is far stranger and more complex than we ever dared to imagine. Future of Voyager 1 and space exploration. What if I told you that a single discovery made by a dying spacecraft has just triggered the most ambitious space exploration plans in human history, with missions that could launch within the next decade? The clock is literally ticking for our brave little explorer, and every day that passes brings us closer to the inevitable moment when Voyager 1 will finally go silent forever. Scientists estimate we have maybe 5 to 10 years of power left before it becomes just another piece of metal drifting through the cosmic void. But here's the incredible part. This terrifying discovery has already sparked a revolution in space exploration planning that's moving at lightning speed through NASA, the European Space Agency, and space agencies around the world. Engineers are frantically working on concepts for next-generation interstellar probes that could reach these mysterious regions faster and with far more sophisticated instruments than anything we've ever built before. We're talking about missions that could launch within the next decade, equipped with advanced AI systems, quantum communication technology, and sensors specifically designed to investigate the phenomena that Voyager 1 has uncovered. The European Space Agency is developing breakthrough propulsion systems that could cut travel time to interstellar space from decades to just years, while private companies are investing billions in technologies that could help us better understand what's really happening in the space between stars. In essence, Voyager 1's final act isn't just about making one last discovery, it's about lighting the fuse for humanity's next great leap into the unknown, ensuring that when it finally falls silent, an entire fleet of advanced explorers will be ready to continue its incredible legacy of pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. Why this discovery matters to us. Every single day you wake up, brush your teeth, and go about your normal routine, you're completely unaware that 14 billion miles away, a tiny machine is discovering things that could completely change what it means to be human in this universe. You might be sitting there wondering why any of this should matter to your daily life. But here's the thing that'll absolutely blow your mind. Discoveries like this have a track record of completely revolutionizing human civilization in ways that nobody sees coming until they're already happening. When scientists first started studying electricity, nobody thought it would lead to smartphones, the internet, or the device you're using to watch this video right now. When Einstein developed his theories about space and time, nobody predicted GPS systems, satellite communication, or the technology that makes modern life possible. Voyager 1's terrifying discovery about the complex, active nature of interstellar space could be the key to unlocking technologies we can't even dream of yet. New forms of energy, revolutionary propulsion systems, or communication methods that could connect us with other civilizations across the galaxy. The patterns and phenomena it's detecting might reveal fundamental principles about how the universe operates that could lead to breakthroughs in computing, medicine, material science, or even our understanding of consciousness itself. This isn't just about satisfying scientific curiosity, it's about potentially discovering that we're part of something much bigger, more complex, and more interconnected than we ever imagined. And that realization could fundamentally change how we see ourselves, our planet, and our future as a species exploring the cosmos. So there you have it, Bill Nye's terrifying discovery that's shaking up the scientific world and making us question everything we thought we knew about space. Voyager 1, our little 45-year-old explorer, has stumbled upon something that could change our understanding of the universe forever. The fact that we're still learning, still discovering, still being surprised by what's out there, that's not terrifying, that's absolutely incredible. What do you think about this discovery? Does it excite you or worry you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one and love hearing your perspectives. If this blew your mind, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest space discoveries. Until next time, keep looking up with space facts. Did you know that Voyager 1 is currently traveling at 38,000 miles per hour through interstellar space, yet it would still take over 73,000 years to reach the nearest star? This incredible spacecraft has been humanity's most distant messenger for decades, sending back data from the edge of our solar system, where no human-made object has ever ventured before. But here's the mind-blowing part. It just detected something moving out there that's completely rewriting the rules of space exploration. Do you know what could possibly be lurking in the cosmic void that caught Voyager's attention? The mysterious detection. What if I told you that humanity's most distant messenger just stumbled upon something that's rewriting the rules of space exploration? Voyager's instruments suddenly lit up like a Christmas tree when they detected an anomalous signal showing something in motion far beyond our solar system's boundaries. This wasn't your typical space rock drifting aimlessly through the void. The object wasn't following any predictable orbital pattern that planets are known for, and its movement seemed almost deliberately erratic. Scientists initially dismissed it as a potential glitch in the decades-old equipment, but when multiple readings kept confirming the same impossible data, they realized something extraordinary was actually out there. The object appeared to be moving in ways that completely defied conventional astronomical expectations, accelerating and decelerating at seemingly random intervals, as if it possessed some form of intelligence or control system. What made this discovery even more mind-bending was that the movement patterns were so unusual that astronomers had to throw out their existing tracking models and create entirely new ones just to follow its trajectory through the cosmic darkness. The readings suggested this mysterious entity was operating under principles that our current understanding of physics couldn't easily explain, leaving the scientific community both thrilled and deeply unsettled by the implications of what Voyager had accidentally discovered in the furthest reaches of known space. Beyond planetary motion. You know what separates a wandering space rock from something that might actually be intelligent? The way it moves? This wasn't your typical celestial body behavior that astronomers study in textbooks. We're talking about something that completely broke the fundamental rules of how objects are supposed to move through space. While planets follow those predictable elliptical orbits around stars that we've mapped for centuries, this mysterious object was dancing to its own cosmic rhythm, moving in patterns that seemed to mock our understanding of orbital mechanics. The really spine-chilling part? It appeared to accelerate and decelerate at what seemed like random intervals, almost as if something was making conscious decisions about where to go next. Scientists watching the data streams felt like they were observing a chess player making calculated moves, rather than a lifeless chunk of matter drifting through the void. The movement patterns were so fundamentally different from anything in our astronomical databases that researchers had to abandon decades of established tracking protocols and develop completely new mathematical models just to predict where this thing might go next. What kept everyone awake at night was the unsettling realization that this object seemed to possess some form of propulsion or guidance system that operated independently of any known gravitational influences, suggesting either revolutionary physics at work or something far more extraordinary than anyone was prepared to admit publicly. Instrument readings gone wild. When a machine built in the 1970s starts detecting signals that don't exist in any modern database, you know something's seriously wrong. Voyager's magnetometer and plasma wave instruments began registering readings that sent shockwaves through mission control, displaying data patterns that didn't match a single entry in their comprehensive astronomical databases. The object appeared to be generating its own electromagnetic field, which is incredibly rare for natural space objects and typically only seen in active stars or massive planetary bodies with molten cores. Even more bizarre, the readings suggested this mysterious entity might be rotating or tumbling in a highly complex pattern that created interference signatures unlike anything scientists had previously encountered from asteroids, comets, or typical space debris. The electromagnetic emissions were so unusual that they seemed to pulse in rhythmic intervals, almost like a heartbeat echoing through the vacuum of space. What made the situation even more unsettling was that these readings were coming from instruments that had been functioning flawlessly for decades, suddenly encountering phenomena that their creators never anticipated when designing the detection systems back on Earth. The data streams showed energy signatures that fluctuated in ways that suggested either some form of internal power source or an interaction with unknown cosmic forces that current physics couldn't adequately explain. Mission scientists found themselves staring at computer screens, displaying information that challenged everything they thought they knew about how objects behave in the cold emptiness of interstellar space, leaving them questioning whether they were witnessing a natural phenomenon or something far more extraordinary. The rogue object theory. So, what happens when scientists discover something that's, too small to be a planet but way too active to be just dead rock? Well, at first scientists thought maybe this could be a rogue planet, one of those lonely worlds that gets ejected from its original solar system and ends up wandering through the infinite darkness of interstellar space, sort of like a cosmic exile. These planetary outcasts are known to drift aimlessly through the void after getting gravitationally kicked out of their home systems by larger planets or big stellar events. But the size readings from Voyager's instruments just didn't match up with what you'd expect from a typical rogue planet. And even more puzzling, rogue planets don't usually move with such unpredictable and honestly almost purposeful patterns. They tend to follow predictable trajectories influenced by the gravitational pull of nearby massive objects. But this mysterious entity seemed too small to qualify as a planet, yet it was far too large and energetically active to be classified as your typical space debris or asteroid material floating through the cosmic wasteland. What really threw researchers off was the object's apparent ability to change direction and speed without any obvious external gravitational influences acting on it. That kind of behavior totally contradicted everything scientists thought they knew about how rogue planets should behave out in the emptiness between star systems. The data pointed to something that existed in this strange middle ground between planetary and non-planetary classifications, leaving the scientific community with, way more questions than answers about its true nature and origin. This discovery really forced astronomers to rethink their basic understanding of what makes a planetary body, and whether there might be entirely new categories of cosmic objects drifting through space that just don't fit into our current classification systems. Artificial origin speculation. The moment scientists started whispering about artificial intelligence in deep space, everything changed. Here's where the discovery really took a turn and made even the most skeptical researchers pause and rethink everything they thought they knew about our cosmic neighborhood. Some scientists began seriously wondering if this mysterious object could actually be artificial in origin, a possibility that sent ripples of both excitement and, honestly, a bit of terror through the astronomical community. The object's highly unusual movement patterns, those distinctive electromagnetic signatures, and its apparent ability to change direction without any obvious external forces, led to these hushed conversations about possible extraterrestrial technology drifting out there in the void. Now, while most established researchers stayed publicly skeptical and didn't want to jump to such extraordinary conclusions, the data piling up was compelling enough that even the most conservative astronomers couldn't completely dismiss the possibility of an artificial probe or spacecraft from another civilization. What made this theory so unsettling was that the object seemed to actually show behaviors that matched up with some kind of guidance system or onboard intelligence, responding to unknown stimuli in ways that natural space objects just don't. The electromagnetic pulses appeared almost like communication attempts or maybe diagnostic signals, suggesting internal systems that could be actively monitoring or scanning the surrounding space environment. All this speculation opened up some mind-bending questions about whether humanity had just stumbled across evidence of advanced alien technology, possibly an automated probe sent by a distant civilization to explore our neck of the galaxy. That would fundamentally challenge our understanding of whether we're truly alone in the universe, and what other intelligences might be silently watching us from the darkness of space. Comet or something else? So, when something behaves like a comet but breaks just about every rule about how comets are supposed to work, you've really got a cosmic mystery on your hands. The next theory that popped up from all the scientific chaos focused on whether this enigmatic object could some kind of unusual comet with a highly irregular orbit. But even this seemingly logical explanation started to fall apart under closer scrutiny. Comets are notorious for their unpredictable behavior, especially when they interact with solar winds and the gravitational fields from massive celestial bodies. That's what creates those spectacular tails and erratic flight paths that can confuse even the most experienced astronomers. However, this mysterious object was positioned way too far from any star to show the typical comet behavior that scientists have documented for centuries. It was operating in the cold vacuum of interstellar space, where solar radiation really shouldn't have much impact on its structure or movement patterns. What made the comet theory even more unlikely was that the object's movement seemed totally independent of any detectable gravitational influence from nearby stellar bodies. That kind of thing suggests it had some form of internal propulsion system, rather than just relying on external cosmic forces. Traditional comets follow predictable physics when they get close to heat sources, developing those characteristic tails and accelerating in ways that match established mathematical models. But this object just didn't fit those expectations at all. The electromagnetic readings and those weird directional changes happened without any connection to solar activity or gravitational wells, which indicated that whatever this thing was, it operated under principles that had nothing to do with the usual ice and rock composition that defines comets. That left researchers seriously wondering if they were dealing with something that was just pretending to be a familiar cosmic phenomenon. Interstellar visitor analysis. Sometimes, the most terrifying discoveries are the ones that remind us we're not alone in this cosmic neighborhood. Data analysis revealed this object might be an interstellar visitor, something that originated outside our solar system and was just passing through our cosmic backyard like an uninvited guest. Similar to Oumuamua, the mysterious cigar-shaped object that briefly visited us back in 2017 and left scientists scrambling for explanations, this new detection showed unmistakable characteristics of something that definitely didn't belong to our familiar solar system family. However, unlike Oumuamua, which seemed to drift through space following predictable physics, this object appeared to be actively maneuvering rather than just coasting on momentum from its original trajectory. The spectral analysis suggested it carried chemical signatures completely foreign to anything found in our local planetary formation, indicating it had traveled unimaginable distances through the void between star systems before somehow ending up in Voyager's detection range. What made this discovery particularly spine-chilling was the realization that if this was indeed an interstellar traveler, it meant our solar system was being visited by objects from distant cosmic regions, with potentially different physical laws or evolutionary histories. The object's ability to maintain apparent control over its movement after what must have been millions of years of interstellar travel suggested either incredibly advanced preservation technology or something that, honestly, challenged our understanding of how matter behaves across vast cosmic distances. This raised unsettling questions about what other mysterious visitors might be silently passing through our solar system without our knowledge, observing us from the darkness. Scientific community divided. Nothing splits the scientific world faster than a discovery that challenges everything we thought we knew about reality. The discovery created a massive rift that split the scientific community into warring factions, each defending their interpretation of the data with the passion of religious zealots. Conservative astronomers dug in their heels, insisting this must be a natural phenomenon they simply hadn't encountered before, arguing that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence and that jumping to wild conclusions would damage their professional credibility. Meanwhile, a growing faction of researchers argued that the mounting evidence pointed to something far more extraordinary than conventional wisdom could accept, suggesting that clinging to outdated assumptions was preventing genuine scientific progress. peer review processes transformed into heated battlegrounds where respected colleagues found themselves shouting across conference rooms, with researchers demanding more comprehensive data before making any definitive conclusions about the object's true nature and origin. The tension became so intense that some scientists refused to collaborate with colleagues who held opposing views, creating an unprecedented schism in a field that typically thrives on cooperative research and shared discoveries. What made this division particularly bitter was that both sides were working with the same limited dataset from Voyager's aging instruments, yet reaching completely different conclusions about what they were observing in the depths of space. The controversy exposed deep philosophical differences about how science should approach unexplained phenomena, with traditionalists advocating caution, while progressives pushed for bold new theories that could revolutionize our understanding of the cosmos and humanity's place within it. Technology limitations. When your most advanced space probe is running on technology older than most smartphones, getting answers becomes nearly impossible. Unfortunately, Voyager's aging instruments and vast distance from Earth meant the data was frustratingly limited and sometimes contradictory, like trying to solve a murder mystery with a broken magnifying glass. The spacecraft's communication systems, originally designed in the 1970s using technology that would seem primitive compared to a modern calculator, struggled desperately to transmit detailed information about this unprecedented discovery across the mind-boggling distances of interstellar space. Scientists found themselves in the maddening position of having to work with incomplete datasets that arrived months after being recorded, making it incredibly challenging to determine exactly what Voyager had encountered in the cosmic depths. The probe's instruments were never designed to analyze the type of anomalous readings they were now detecting, forcing researchers to extrapolate conclusions from equipment that was already operating far beyond its intended lifespan and capabilities. Signal degradation across billions of miles meant that crucial details about the object's behavior were lost in transmission, leaving tantalizing gaps in the data that could have provided definitive answers about its nature and origin. What made this situation even more frustrating was that by the time scientists received and analyzed the information, the mysterious object had often moved to a completely different location, making follow-up observations nearly impossible. The technological limitations created a perfect storm of scientific frustration, where humanity's most distant explorer had discovered something potentially revolutionary, but lacked the tools to properly study it. Ongoing mystery. Some mysteries are so profound that they redefine what we thought was possible in the universe. As of now, the object remains one of space exploration's greatest unsolved mysteries, a cosmic riddle that continues to haunt scientists and challenge our fundamental understanding of what exists in the vast emptiness between stars. Voyager continues to track its movement when possible, but the object's unpredictable behavior makes consistent observation feel like trying to photograph a ghost that appears and disappears at will. The enigmatic entity seems to operate under its own mysterious agenda, sometimes vanishing from detection for weeks before reappearing in completely unexpected locations, as if it's deliberately evading our attempts to study it. Future deep space missions are being frantically planned with more advanced instruments specifically designed to investigate similar anomalies, but the reality is that we're still years away from having the technology capable of properly analyzing whatever this thing actually is. For now, we're left in the uncomfortable position of knowing something extraordinary is out there, moving through the cosmic void with apparent intelligence or purpose, while being completely powerless to determine its true nature or intentions. The discovery has fundamentally altered how scientists approach the search for unusual phenomena in space, forcing them to acknowledge that our universe might be far stranger and more populated than we ever dared to imagine. This mysterious object serves as a humbling reminder that despite all our technological advances and scientific achievements, we're still cosmic children stumbling around in the dark, occasionally bumping into things that shouldn't exist according to our current understanding of reality. So what do you think we're dealing with here? A natural phenomenon we've never encountered before, or something that challenges our understanding of what's possible in deep space? The fact that Voyager can still surprise us with discoveries like this just shows how much we still don't know about our universe. Drop a comment below and let me know your theory about this mysterious moving object. I read every single one. If this blew your mind, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you never miss when Space Facts drops new content. Until next time, keep looking up. Beneath the Swiss-French border, the world's most powerful machine is unlocking secrets that could reshape reality itself. Did you know the Large Hadron Collider at CERN can recreate conditions a fraction of a second after the Big Bang? That's not just science fiction, it's happening right now, revealing mysteries that have puzzled humanity for centuries. Here's a punchline. Scientists once set out to create a black hole in the lab. Sounds wild, right? But do you know what really happened when they tried? The Big Experiment. Deep beneath the border of Switzerland and France, a machine hums with the energy of 1 billion lightning bolts. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN isn't just another scientific tool, it's the world's most ambitious experiment, designed to answer the deepest mysteries of our universe. Here, scientists accelerate tiny protons to speeds just shy of light itself, then smash them together in a controlled chaos that recreates conditions from the dawn of time. The stakes? Nothing less than rewriting what we know about reality. When the LHC first powered up, the world held its breath. What secrets would these collisions unlock? Could they reveal hidden dimensions, new particles, or even the birth of a black hole right here on Earth? The excitement in the scientific community was electric, matched only by the curiosity, and sometimes fear, of the public. For the researchers, each collision was a chance to glimpse the unknown, to catch a fleeting signal that could change everything. The LHC's detectors, massive and intricate, waited to capture every trace of the subatomic fireworks. Every second, data poured in, flashes of energy, trails of particles, whispers from the fabric of the cosmos itself. This wasn't just about smashing atoms, it was about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. The world's brightest minds gathered at CERN, united by one goal, to unlock the secrets of existence, one collision at a time. And on that day, as the LHC roared to life, the stage was set for a discovery that could shake the universe. The black hole theory. Rumors swirled as whispers of black holes at CERN hit headlines, sparking debates from classrooms to coffee shops. The idea wasn't science fiction, it was rooted in real physics. Some theorists proposed that the extreme energies inside the Large Hadron Collider could momentarily create microscopic black holes, so tiny they'd vanish in a flash. These wouldn't be the monstrous cosmic beasts devouring stars, but subatomic blips, lasting less than a heartbeat. The theory was electrifying. If these mini black holes appeared, they could offer clues about hidden dimensions and the true nature of gravity. For physicists, the possibility was a golden ticket to test ideas that had only existed on chalkboards and in computer simulations. The world's media, though, latched onto the word black hole with a mix of fascination and fear. Headlines warned of doomsday scenarios while scientists calmly explained the math. Any black hole produced would evaporate instantly, harmlessly, thanks to a process called Hawking radiation. Still, the buzz was unstoppable. People wanted to know, could humanity really create a black hole, even for a split second? The tension between groundbreaking discovery and public anxiety gave the experiment an edge of drama rarely seen in science. As the countdown to the first collisions ticked down, all eyes were on CERN, waiting to see if the wildest theories in physics would leap from the pages of textbooks into reality, even if only for the briefest moment. Public panic. The world watched with a mix of awe and anxiety, as news outlets ran wild with headlines about CERN potentially creating a black hole. Social media feeds exploded with speculation, fueling a frenzy that reached far beyond the walls of any laboratory. Parents worried about their children's future, conspiracy theorists spun tales of impending doom, and even some scientists found themselves fielding questions from concerned friends and family. Petitions began circulating online, gathering thousands of signatures from people demanding the experiment be stopped. Lawsuits were filed in international courts, arguing that humanity was on the brink of unleashing a catastrophe it couldn't control. The debate wasn't just confined to science journals, it became dinner-table conversation, late-night talk show fodder, and the subject of heated arguments on radio and TV. The tension was palpable, and for many, the line between scientific possibility and science fiction seemed to blur. Yet, amid the chaos, CERN's researchers remained focused, determined to separate fact from fear. They addressed the public's concerns head-on, holding press conferences and releasing detailed safety reports. Their message was clear, the science was solid, and the risks were virtually non-existent. But the spectacle of public panic had already taken on a life of its own, transforming a groundbreaking scientific endeavor into a global drama. As the countdown to the first collisions continued, the world held its breath, gripped by a mixture of curiosity, skepticism, and a dash of existential dread. The science behind it. Physicists at CERN knew the stakes were high, not just for science, but honestly, for public trust as well. As the world's attention zeroed in on the collider, experts really stepped up to explain the real science behind the headlines. The idea of creating a black hole in the lab was rooted in advanced theories, but the reality was, well, far less dramatic than the doomsday scenario suggested. According to the mathematics of Stephen Hawking, any microscopic black hole that might form would evaporate in a fraction of a second, releasing its energy harmlessly back into the universe. This process, known as Hawking radiation, meant that even if the collider succeeded in producing these elusive objects, they'd vanish before they could do anything at all. Scientists published extensive safety reviews, showing that cosmic rays, natural high-energy particles from space, strike Earth's atmosphere with far more energy than anything produced at CERN, and have been doing so for billions of years without any catastrophic consequences. The reassurance didn't stop the questions, but it did offer a foundation of calm in the midst of the storm. Researchers used every tool at their disposal, public lectures, interviews, and open days at the laboratory, to demystify their work and invite the public into the process. Their message was consistent. The quest for knowledge is never without risk, but the safeguards were robust, and the science was sound. For those who listened, the fear began to fade, replaced by a sense of wonder at the boldness of human curiosity. The moment of truth. Pressure built inside the control room as the countdown ticked closer to zero. Every scientist glued to their monitors, every eye scanning for the slightest anomaly. The world outside buzzed with anticipation, but inside CERN, focus was absolute. Years of planning, debate, and preparation all led to this moment. The first high-energy collision inside the Large Hadron Collider. Protons, accelerated to near light speed, hurtled toward each other in a tunnel colder than deep space. The instant they collided, a burst of energy erupted, brief, brilliant, and packed with the potential to reveal the universe's hidden layers. Detectors as tall as buildings and packed with cutting-edge technology snapped into action, capturing every trace, every spark, every whisper of something extraordinary. Scientists watched the data stream in, looking for any sign, a deviation, a flash, a particle signature that might hint at the creation of a microscopic black hole. The tension was electric, every second stretching into eternity as the world waited for news. Would the experiment confirm decades of theory, or rewrite the rules of physics altogether? The stakes were enormous, not just for the researchers but for everyone watching. In that instant, the boundaries between fear and fascination blurred, and the pursuit of knowledge took center stage. The world was about to find out if the universe would reveal one of its greatest secrets, or if the mysteries would remain just out of reach. What the detectors saw. A surge of anticipation swept through the data centers as the first collisions unfolded, unleashing a torrent of information that only the most advanced detectors on Earth could decode. Scientists huddled around screens, eyes darting between streams of numbers and vivid bursts of color, each one a potential clue to something extraordinary. The detectors, engineered to capture the faintest traces of subatomic chaos, registered a symphony of particles and energy signatures. Flashes of exotic matter, fleeting and rare, danced across the monitors, each event meticulously catalogued and analyzed. But among the fireworks of quantum debris, there was no sign of a stable black hole, no gravitational anomaly, no runaway reaction. Instead, the readings matched the predictions: bursts of energy, showers of particles, but nothing that threatened to spiral out of control. The absence of disaster was, in itself, a triumph. Every blip and spike in the data told a story, confirming that the universe's rules held firm, even under the most extreme conditions humans could create. The experiment's outcome reassured not just the scientists, but a world that had been holding its breath. As the data poured in, it became clear that the LHC was not a harbinger of doom, but a gateway to deeper understanding. The detectors had witnessed the universe at its most fundamental, and what they saw was both expected and astonishing, a testament to the power of human curiosity and the precision of modern science. The unexpected discovery. What truly stunned the scientific community wasn't the arrival of a black hole. but rather the treasure trove of rare particle interactions that emerged from the chaos. As the detectors sifted through trillions of collisions, they began to reveal patterns and phenomena that had never been observed before. Among the swirling clouds of subatomic debris, researchers spotted fleeting traces of particles predicted by theory but never caught in action. Exotic combinations that pushed the boundaries of quantum physics. These discoveries weren't just statistical blips, they were windows into realms of matter and energy that had only existed in equations and speculation. Every new interaction, every anomalous signal, became a potential breakthrough, sparking debates and excitement across the globe. The LHC's ability to recreate these extreme conditions allowed scientists to probe the very fabric of reality, inching closer to answers about the universe's most profound mysteries. The unexpected findings fueled a surge of innovation, inspiring new experiments and theories that rippled through the world of physics. For the researchers at CERN, each surprise in the data was a reminder that the universe still held secrets waiting to be uncovered. The absence of a black hole didn't mean disappointment. Instead, it marked the beginning of a new chapter in discovery, where the unknown beckoned with even greater promise and wonder. Media frenzy. Wow, what a whirlwind it was! Newsrooms scrambled to keep up as the story of CERN's black hole experiment exploded across headlines, turning a scientific milestone into a global sensation. The media, always hungry for drama, seized on every possibility. Some outlets painted the experiment as a bold leap for humanity, while others stoked fears with talk of doomsday scenarios and runaway black holes. Social media platforms became battlegrounds of opinion, with hashtags trending worldwide and heated debates erupting in comment sections. Scientists suddenly found themselves thrust into the spotlight, fielding interviews and answering rapid-fire questions from reporters eager for a soundbite. The narrative shifted almost hourly, swinging between awe at the scale of human achievement and anxiety over the unknown. For many viewers, the spectacle was irresistible, a real-life science thriller unfolding in real time, with the fate of the planet seemingly hanging in the balance. Yet behind the scenes, researchers worked tirelessly to cut through the noise, offering clear explanations and sharing real-time updates to keep the facts front and center. Their transparency helped calm the storm, but the media frenzy had already cemented CERN's experiment as one of the most talked-about scientific events of the decade. The world was hooked, not just on the possibility of black holes, but on the drama, the debate, and the sheer audacity of exploring the universe's deepest mysteries. Scientific legacy. And so, long after the first collisions, the true legacy of CERN's bold experiment began to take shape, not in disaster, but in the seismic shift it sparked across the scientific world. The fears of black hole catastrophes faded into the background as the LHC's results fueled a new era of discovery. Among its greatest triumphs was the confirmation of the Higgs boson, the elusive God particle that gave mass to everything in the universe. This breakthrough alone redefined the boundaries of particle physics and earned a Nobel Prize, but the impact didn't stop there. The data collected from the collider's experiments opened doors to questions about dark matter, antimatter, and the very forces that hold the cosmos together. Researchers across the globe dove into the treasure trove of findings, designing new experiments and refining theories that had been debated for decades. The LHC became a symbol of what humanity could achieve when curiosity and collaboration took center stage. Its experiments not only silenced the doomsayers, they inspired a new generation of scientists, engineers and dreamers to push further and dig deeper. The legacy of CERN's black hole quest is written not in fear, but in the relentless pursuit of knowledge and the breakthroughs that continue to ripple through the world of science, reshaping our understanding of the universe with every passing year. The ongoing quest. But curiosity refuses to rest, and at CERN, the quest for answers only grows more ambitious with every passing year. The Large Hadron Collider, once the subject of global suspense, now stands as a launchpad for even bolder experiments. Researchers are ramping up the energy, refining their detectors and dreaming bigger than ever, hoping to uncover new particles, forces, or perhaps even cracks in the very laws of physics. Each experiment is a leap into the unknown, a calculated risk that could unlock secrets about dark matter, quantum realms, or the origins of the universe itself. The excitement in the halls of CERN is contagious, fueled by the knowledge that every breakthrough, no matter how small, brings humanity closer to understanding the fabric of reality. The world watches with anticipation, eager for the next headline, the next discovery that could reshape textbooks and challenge what we think we know. For the scientists, the journey is as thrilling as the destination, a relentless pursuit of knowledge that transforms fear into fascination and speculation into science. The story of CERN's black hole experiment isn't over. It's just the opening chapter in a saga of exploration that promises to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, inspiring curiosity and wonder in generations yet to come. Thanks for joining me on this wild journey into the mysteries of CERN and black holes. If you enjoyed exploring the unknown with Space Facts, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss our next cosmic adventure. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what space fact blew your mind today. Your support helps us keep bringing you the universe's most fascinating secrets. Until next time, keep looking up and stay curious.